Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The Rangers lose to the Edmonton Oilers 4-3. This was a game where the Rangers got off to a pretty decent start and definitely got worse as the game went on. And they allow 4 goals in the third period in a 6-minute and 45-second span. So in the first 9 minutes and 52 seconds of the third period, the Oilers go from trailing 1-0 to taking a 4-1 lead. The Rangers would score 2 goals late, including 1 goal at the very, very end of the game, which for anyone that was involved in the over-under, that was one of the crazier ones that I've ever seen as far as bad beats go, but I digress. Jonathan Quick really played very well, kind of kept the Rangers in it, and he had shut out the Oilers earlier in the season at Edmonton without Connor McDavid, and he had shut out the Oilers through 5 periods. This was a 1-0 Ranger lead going into the third, but Edmonton was the hungrier, more desperate team, and they took advantage of some Ranger mistakes and won the game. So, this is disappointing. The Rangers, this is also their first regulation loss. First regulation loss, first 1 goal regulation loss, which again, that stat is weird because of a Will Cooley goal with less than a second left, it becomes 1 goal game. So again, sometimes those stats are a little bit fluky. And for Jonathan Quick, it's his first regulation loss as a Ranger, but he deserved a better fate, I would say, even though probably a goal or 2 in the third he'd want to have back, but this is nowhere near on him. And really, hopefully the Rangers can turn it around tomorrow. Home against Buffalo, a team that they did well against opening night at Buffalo, but then later in the season, one of their now 8 regulation losses was home against Buffalo, kind of a stinker. So that's one where hopefully they can bounce back. You got Igor in net for the Sabre game, and he's been playing a lot better lately. So I'm kind of happy on the quick turnaround, and hopefully they can get that win, again, going into the Christmas break. But as far as this game was concerned, definitely a tough one. I thought that the Rangers, in the first period, the first period was the Rangers' best. It was a fairly low-event first period, and the Rangers would take the 1-0 lead on a goal by Blake Wheeler at 11:03. Wheeler scores his 5th goal of the season from Zibanejad and Kreider. Really nice, really nice pass by Zibanejad behind the net. Just a slight pivot of his stick, or might have even went off the skates, right to Wheeler, who, as Stuart Skinner, the Oilers goalie, just wasn't really aware that the puck was on Wheeler's stick because of the play by Zibanejad. And so by the time Wheeler, shoots it towards the net, it's a goal. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead. And then they do draw a penalty. I guess not so much today, more so self-inflicted by the Oilers. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 19:39 is called for a delay of game. So the Rangers would have a power play for most of the second period. Now, what happens on this power play? Somewhat controversial. I actually tend to agree with the call, although it's a little inconsistent. So Zibanejad ends up ripping a slap shot on the power play. Goes off of Stuart Skinner's helmet. His helmet straps break, and so he's kind of off to the side. Puck goes to Panarin, and he shoots it in, but they call it no goal. I think that was, in my opinion, the right call, although, you think back a little bit earlier in the season, maybe a few weeks ago, there was a play where Jonathan Quick lost his glove, and I want to say that the other team, I forget who they were playing, but the other team scored because of that, and they didn't blow it dead. They didn't blow it dead. Let's just put it that way. Maybe for masks, it is different. But I'm personally not going to complain about the call. I thought that it was a reasonable enough decision to call it no goal. So, the score remains 1-0. Then the Rangers get another power play at 5:56. Bouchard slashes Trocheck, and the Rangers don't score on this power play either. So that's, part of the problem is they had a 1-0 lead with a chance to make it 2-0, and Edmonton's able to kill off those penalties. Then the game starts turning a little bit. I would say midway through the second. At 11:15, Ryan Lindgren is called for roughing Ryan McLeod. The call of roughing is strange. You could have gone maybe cross-checking, maybe boarding. Roughing's weird. And I don't think Lindgren, it was kind of just wrong place, wrong time. Lindgren takes the penalty. Rangers call it off, though. Rangers called off. Then at 17:01 was a Jonathan Quick clinic after a Nick Bonino holding penalty. He holds McDavid, and Jonathan Quick made some unbelievable saves on this Oiler power play. So the Rangers were at this point kind of fortunate to still be up 1-0. Quick was doing great, and they go into the third period, and the Oilers took over. So at 3:07, Zach Hyman scores his 19th goal of the season from Ekholm and McDavid, and they left Hyman all alone in front. What I remember most is Trouba down on the ice trying to break up, I guess, the pass from Ekholm to Hyman with the stick, and it goes through to Hyman. Easy goal. Goes backhand pass quick. So bad Ranger defensive coverage, leaving them all alone. And then a minute and 10 seconds later, keep in mind, the Oilers played last night against the Devils and won in very similar fashion, where they went crazy goal-wise early in the third with a 1-goal deficit. It was the same script. And I should also mention Chris Knobloch, who was the Hartford Wolfpack head coach for the last, 4 or 5 seasons, is now the head coach of the Oilers, and it seems to be paying off for them. Evander Kane scores to make it 2-1 at 4:17 from Derek Ryan. This was a play where Braden Schneider kind of loses. I think this is the one, again, they all kind of blend together, but this is the one where, Braden Schneider kind of loses the puck, and Quick, it deflects off of Schneider's stick, and it kind of goes through Quick after he couldn't handle it originally. This is one for Quick that I think he would want to have back, just the whole sequence of it. But it ends up being Kane's goal to make it 2-1. Then at 6:36, Fogle, after a Ranger timeout, didn't really work. Fogle scores his 5th goal of the season from McLeod and Ceci. So now it's 3-1 Oilers. Trying to think of description as far as these goals that happened. Maybe it was the 4th one where it got scrambly. The third one, I may not remember exactly how that one went down. But, one of them, maybe it was the 4th. Third of the 4th. Let's talk about the 4th goal. The 4th goal that makes it 4-1 is a goal by Ryan McLeod. It's his 5th of the season from Fogle at 9:52. I think this is one where Keandre Miller slips at the blue line, and it creates chaos the other way, where eventually McLeod scores. I think this is one where I think the Fogle one was more of just a rip. I think it was a little bit of an odd man rush, and Fogle was open for the shot and scores past Quick. The 4th one was, again, Miller, turns it over, falls down, turns it over. They go back the other way, and they try to prevent the goal, but McLeod scores. So now it's 4-1. The Oilers take a penalty at 14:07. Fogle hooks Zibanejad. And as the Rangers tend to normally do, they at least get like one power play goal. And that happens here. It was a 6-on-4. The Rangers pulled the goalie. Zibanejad scores his 12th goal of the season from Lafreniere, and Kreider makes it 4-2. Then the Rangers did have some opportunities, 6-on-4 a little bit, and they do score with like 0.1 left. Will Cooley just sort of whips one. Like, Draisaitl loses the puck, and Cooley just whips it in past Skinner. His 6th of the season unassisted. Again, like, that had a lot of meaning for people who bet the over-under. But yeah, the Rangers lose this 4-3. So it was treading in the wrong direction, but it almost, the Rangers were almost able to, they were one period away from getting out of there, but then the Oilers exploded to start the third. And like, it wasn't, last season at home was the worst, where the Rangers were at about rock bottom at this point. It felt like with Gerard Gallant, when they blew a 3-0 home lead in the third period last year on a Saturday matinee game. This was nothing like that at all. But still, you're home, you're leading going to the third. Usually the Rangers take care of things in games like this, but that did not happen. I will say, when things get away from the Rangers, they get away from them. And that's why in a lot of their losses, like, they give up a lot of goals. And they have been winning those close games. So now, like I said, it's a back-to-back at MSG tomorrow night, home against the Sabres, in a winnable game. Buffalo's 14-17-3. I would expect the Rangers to bounce back, but hey, like, we'll see. Laviolette was not very happy. I'm hopeful that Igor can continue his good play. and you win the Buffalo game, and it takes the sting a little bit away from this Edmonton game. But definitely not a great night for the Rangers. They didn't deserve to win. They didn't win because they allowed 4 goals in a very short span early in the third. The Rangers lose to the Oilers 4-3.